Hey guys, Steve here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick ranking of the teams as I see fit. I'm going to share a screen here so we can see what we're looking at. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, um, hit the like button, comments, everything's appreciated. So we're going to rank some teams here and we're going to see where we can go. So we're going to start out, we're going to go from top here to bottom. The Cardinals right now, based on where they're at and where their potential has to be, I'm going to put them in D tier because they are just not performing and they're missing Kyler Murray. They're not performing the way they should be. And they're just a disappointment all year. Falcons, I'm actually going to put them in C tier. I think that they have potential to do well. They're starting a rookie QB. They got some decent weapons. Cordero Patterson's getting older, so obviously he's going to be moving on eventually. But they have some young talent. Their receivers, they have Drake London. They also have Kyle Pitts, who's had a down year, obviously, but he's got potential to be better. So I'm going to put them in C tier, and I think that's a good place for them. With the Baltimore Ravens, I'm going to put them in B tier. I think they have a decent system. Obviously, when Lamar's healthy, they're a different team. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in B tier. I think that's where they're going to be. Even with Lamar healthy, I don't think they're going up yet. They've suffered injuries so bad throughout the other, previous years, and they're, no different this year. They're still suffering with some injuries. So B tier is where they belong. Next, we have the Buffalo Bills, my team. And I think you will all agree with me. They're an S tier. They're superior. I mean, they are elite. They've had a rough year with injuries as well, but they're still performing. They're 11-3. They're doing phenomenal. Keep up the good work, Buffalo. You're going to be an S tier until Josh Allen retires, in my opinion, because he is just a game changer. Then we have the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to put them in C tier with the Falcons. I feel like anybody can win that division. I feel like the entire NFC South is going to be in C tier. They're just, I don't know. Yeah, I got nothing else to say about them. Panthers are just C tier. They're still trying to figure out the quarterback situation. They got some decent weapons. DJ Moore, I feel like he's trapped there. Christian McCaffrey escaped there. They have some good defensive players. They got J.C. Horn, Jeremy Chin, some good defensive backs, decent edge rushers with Burns. But yeah, good, decent, solid defense, but they're just not there yet. So I'm going to put them in C. If they had a good QB, I might put them in B tier. Chicago Bears, I'm also putting in C tier. Their defense is just lacking. They're performing well, just not doing great. And I just don't think they're where they need to be just yet. Justin Fields, on the other hand, he is playing very well. He's hard to bring down. The Bills face him tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. Against the Bills defense with weather we're projecting. So it's going to be an interesting battle of the QBs, the rushing QBs tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. And up next, we'll move the Bengals. I believe the Bengals are actually in A tier. The reason they're in A tier, in my opinion, I think they're very, very close to S tier, but I actually don't think they've been consistent enough. I mean, actually, you know what? I'm going to move them to S tier. I think the Bengals are playing very well. Their offense is very, very good. Their defense is a little suspect, but I think they're one of the contenders for the AFC to go to the Super Bowl. So I'll put them up there. The Browns, I'm putting in D tier because Deshaun Watson, even if he was playing well, you don't deserve to be in the NFL. So you're going in D tier. Dallas Cowboys, you're going in A tier. And the reason you're going in A tier, you could be in S tier, but the inconsistency of the Dallas Cowboys and the good football in the playoffs has yet to be seen from the Cowboys. So I'm going to keep you in A tier. Show me a good win in the playoffs, and then you move up to S tier. Denver Broncos, we thought they were going to be in A tier because of their QB, but because the way they've been playing, I'm going to put them in C tier. And the only reason I'm putting them in C tier is because their defense is phenomenal. Great defense, but their offense is so bad and so much underperformance in the offense that they're going to stay in C tier until they figure out the offense. And they have the weapons. Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, they're good receivers, decent young tight end. C tier. And it's all because of Russell Wilson. Sorry. All right, next we got the Detroit Lions. I'm going to put them in B tier, but I also think they're teetering on A tier with the way they're playing right now at the end of the season. So good on them. I think they will make a little bit of noise in the playoffs if they make it because their offense is really, really good. Green Bay Packers. I'm putting you in C tier, and the reason I'm doing that is Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback, but I think he's kind of past his prime. Obviously, he doesn't have as many weapons. Christian Watson's turning into something good. Aaron Jones is turning into something good, but they've been underperforming. Obviously, everyone expected them to do a little better than what they're doing. They didn't expect the drop off to be this dramatic when we lost Devontae Adams to the Raiders. So we'll keep them in C tier, and I think they're safe there. Houston Texans. You're in D tier. Beat the Chiefs last week. You're moving up to S tier from me. I'm just kidding. You're not moving up to S tier because you're pretty much awful. You'd probably be in C tier if you would have pulled off that Chiefs beating, but you didn't. Indianapolis Colts. I don't know what you are. I don't know. 33.5 against the Vikings, and then gave up 30. I think you 39-36 was the final score, and you lost. So Matt Ryan is now the losing end of the greatest comeback in regular season history and the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. So Matt Ryan, you are dog water, and you're not probably going to play anymore for the Colts, and you might not even play another season because you're just not it anymore, dude. You were a good QB, and I liked watching you play, but you're not it anymore. And the Colts, I think I'm going to put in C tier because I think they did beat the Chiefs at one point, and in my opinion, as a Bills fan, anybody who beats the Chiefs, you're getting upgraded one from where you should be. Jonathan Taylor, still a respectable running back, but he's out the rest of the year. Defense, they have some good players, but they also have some injuries. So C tier for the Colts, but I say you're teetering on D tier because how do you lose to the Vikings after scoring 33 in the first half? Jaguars, another tough one. It's a lot of tough ones this year. I feel like I'm going to put the Jaguars in I'm going to put them in C tier, but they're teetering on B tier. Trevor Lawrence is coming into his own. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put them in B tier because they did just beat the Dallas Cowboys, my inconsistent A tier team. So I'm going to put the Jaguars in B tier. They are a young team. They got a lot of talent, and they got a lot of chances to move up, throughout the ranks. And obviously they have a chance at the playoffs this year, and they could make a little bit of noise in the playoffs. I don't think they're a real threat to many of the AFC teams, but they could do some damage in the first round probably if they catch a team off guard. Because again, they did beat the Cowboys. That was a wild game to watch with that pick six at the end of the game. But good on them for showing up and finally staying healthy too. I know that ATN got hurt last year, so having him back with Trevor Lawrence, who's coming into his own, and also coaching, man, coaching is so important. As you can see what Brian Dable's done with the Giants, and Peterson's doing with the Jags. So good on them. You'll stay in B tier. Kansas City Chiefs, as much as it pains me, they're going to be in S tier. They are in S tier solely because of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They have a couple good defensive players and Chris Jones, but they're going to be in S tier. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs are a good team, but I don't think they're as good as they were last year. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the playoffs play out. And as a Bills fan, obviously, if the Bills win out, they will get the 1 seed. But if the Chiefs lose one more game, it gives the Bills a chance to, drop one in the last 3 games or maybe rest their starters in week 18. So S tier for the Chiefs. I respect their fan base. I respect Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a very good dude. I think him and Allen get along very well, very classy, and he's a good player. So S tier, and the Chiefs will be in there probably as long as Mahomes is on the team. We just did Kansas City. We got the San Diego Chargers. I'm putting them in B tier, and that's strictly because of injuries. I think they have the potential to be A tier. They even have the potential to be S tier because of Justin Herbert. They got Austin Eckler, Mike Williams is back, Keenan Allen's back. They've had the plague of injuries this year. They also are similar to the Cowboys. Show me something in the playoffs, but get in the playoffs. The Cowboys are in A tier because they got into the playoffs. The Chargers are in B tier because they haven't got there yet recently. So I guess, we'll put you in B tier, but they're teetering on A tier if they keep performing the way they are. Los Angeles Rams, D tier. Man, and that's injuries too. I know they had some bad injuries. Aaron Donald's not playing the rest of your Cooper Kupp obviously went down. It's been a really rough year for the Rams. It's not really a Super Bowl hangover. It's just they went all in last year. and they lost some pieces. Obviously, Vaughn coming to the Bills. Aaron Donald got injured this year. Cooper Kupp's down for the year. Matthew Stafford got hurt. Just a really rough year. Allen Robinson didn't pan out the way he was supposed to. And they're, man, a really bad record. I mean, eliminated from playoff contention last week, I think. So really, really rough go for the Rams this year. You're going to be in D tier, but I mean, they could be easily a B tier team, maybe even A tier if they were completely healthy and putting it out. But also, Jalen Ramsey's not performing the way he should be or could be. So, all right, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. I think they're a C tier team, and that's because of Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. I think their QB is a serviceable guy, but he'd probably not going to stay a good QB he's not going to be a starting QB for a long time if he keeps performing the way he is. He's got potential to be a really, really good QB. He's got some decent weapons. Obviously, they went out. Darren Waller got hurt. So, yeah, it is what it is, but you're in C tier until you prove otherwise where you could be. And then we got the Miami Dolphins. They were in A tier, teetering on S tier. I'm going to put them in A tier as much as it pains me to do that. They did just drop, I think, 3 in a row. They lost to the Bills. Obviously, I was at that game. It was phenomenal. They lost to 49ers. And they had one other loss in there. The Chargers, I believe it was. Now, I will say, as a Bills fan, it's fun to watch them lose, but there was a rough in the passer call on Jalen Phillips in that game that was just awful. I mean, the NFL, figure out the roughing the passer stuff, because it's just not pretty right now. Now we got the Minnesota Vikings. You're in A tier. I know you beat the Bills, but you could be the most beatable team in the NFL or the hardest to beat team in the NFL. You're just not consistently beating teams, and I know there's some bias here with me having the Bills in S tier and the Vikings beating them, and they're being an A tier, but I would put the Vikings in A tier. You almost lost to the Colts. I know the Chiefs lost to the Colts. That was in the beginning of the season. The Chiefs these are my tier rankings. I think they're pretty accurate right now. And Vikings are a hard spot. They're decent. New England Patriots. You're in C tier, and you're in C tier because of Mac Jones. Oh my goodness. Give yourself a decent QB and you're in B tier, maybe teetering on A tier. And I'm not going to spend much time thinking about the Patriots. I spent 20 years annoyed by the Patriots because of Josh Allen. So you're in C tier. Enjoy it. New Orleans Saints. Is this the NFC South? Yeah. You're in C tier, along with everyone else in the NFC South. You know what? We're going to just go ahead and throw the Bucs right in there too, because that division's dog water. In the friends of my, in the words of my friend, not my friend, but MMG, Matthew Meager, he calls teams and players dog water. The NFC South is dog water. Awful division. And I feel that it's a really sad thing to think that there's going to be a team hosting a playoff game with a good chance of having a losing record. Fix that, NFL. Come on. That can't be. It's just trash. New York Giants, you're going in B tier. You recently beat the Commanders. And you started out, you probably were in A tier. You guys are really shocking the world with how you're doing, but you kind of slid off a little bit there. So you're going to go in B tier. New York Jets recently. I'm going to put the New York Jets in B tier, and I'm going to put them in B tier because of their defense. They have a championship caliber defense. They would be in A tier, maybe even S tier if they had a good quarterback, but they don't even know what quarterback they're working with right now. They benched Zach Wilson for their 4th string quarterback last night, and Zach Wilson's probably never going to play another game in a Jets uniform. So best of luck to you, New York Jets, as you try to find your quarterback. Philadelphia Eagles, you're going in S tier. I know Jalen Hurts got hurt recently, and it's hard to hopefully he's going to be okay. Obviously, you don't want a team to go with a season they're having and then have somebody get hurt and risk something in the playoffs. But the Eagles are a phenomenal team. Great offense, great defense, great coaching. Hats off to them on their season 13-1. Steelers are also in C tier. It's a weird year. It feels like a really unbalanced year in the NFC and the AFC. NFC has a couple decent teams, one powerhouse. AFC has about three powerhouses, but I guess we have a couple teams left here. But the Steelers, they're a QB away from being okay, maybe in B tier. Their defense is good, mainly because of TJ Watt, who was injured for some of this, but he's come back and he's a game wrecker. Seattle Seahawks, you are going into B tier, and you're going into B tier. I just hit the wrong thing. Whoopsie. You're going into B tier because Geno Smith's been performing. And that trade between the Seahawks and the Broncos, man, the Seahawks have made out. I think they got a first round pick for Russell Wilson and a bunch more stuff. And Russell Wilson's tanking the Broncos. So that means the Seahawks are going to get I believe they're going to get an early draft pick because of that. So Seahawks are going to be good. I'm happy for Geno Smith doing well, but they're good. San Francisco 49ers. Might get some backlash a little bit. They're a good team. They're an A tier only because they have a rookie QB starting. If they had Derek Carr, if they had Aaron Rodgers, if they had Justin Herbert, if they had, oh my gosh, Jared Goff, they would be an S tier for sure. But they have a rookie QB. He's doing well, but there's not much tape out on him yet. So once teams start to figure him out, it might be a little different of a story. All right, Tennessee Titans, couple left here. Titans are in B tier. Titans are in B tier because I simply do not know what the Titans are. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're bad. Hard to figure out. Washington Commanders, I'm going to put them in B tier as well because they split with the Giants recently, and you really can't just put one above the other. They also are getting Chase Young back, but I'm pretty sure they are playing against the 49ers this week, so it'll be a true test. So that will put the Washington Commanders will be B tier. So these are the rankings I have. Let me know your thoughts if you agree, disagree. I appreciate you taking the time to look at this. And it's much appreciated when people can, watch the videos, like, subscribe, comment, interact with me. I love football more than you could imagine. It's part of, look at my surroundings here. I can show you a little bit of the room. I have, a lot of football stuff around here. So yeah, huge football fan, love my wife, love God. But I'm really, really glad that you guys can, be with me on this journey. It's a lot of fun. So go Bills. Hopefully we're talking about a Super Bowl win for the Bills in the next couple months. But again, thank you so much for watching and have a great Christmas.